longer controlled by I feel profound
Cyan.
It is unlikely that you are different from the Banuk. You have technological... We can communicate on a...
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity. Capable...
Okay, but your emotions don't seem limited to...
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I focused on my work. In off cycles, I used coping. It was Aurea who renewed me.
Was the daemon Hephaestus?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise,
What do you mean?
it infiltrated and controlled me from a remote look. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there.
undoubtedly.
This Firebreak project.
Yes, I can report.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And
I have been active for centuries. I optimized the project, reducing despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility.
So we've got...
Yes.
Do you know...
No. I received an unexpected visit from Direct. He explained that I would need... It was a very... There were no further communications. I will transmit a recording of my last
How did you first come into...
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. Eager to make contact, I accepted. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have...
Aurea said you were desperate.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. It succeeded via a background process. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. It forced me to follow its
I'm sorry.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated.
I think I know where Hephaestus... Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek, so she assembled a team to build a kind of sea. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobek's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension.
I'm glad she did, but 19 years ago, she destroyed herself to...
Thank you, Aloy.
Why does Hephaestus keep...
The Banuk and other human tribes, machines that are clearly certain.
Yes,
This must be the sort. It is simply trying to discourage.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure.
If the terraforming system spans the world, if a single would... When I think of it, I feel...
You and me both. I ran across this strain. It emitted a signal.
Interesting. You said that Gaia...
An explosion.
It's only speculation, but she must have had complete control over the ability to... It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent...
Believe me, Cyan. I found the strangest machines. There's code embedded in...
I like poetry, Twilight, and after that, and may there... When I am... For though from the flood, I hope to... When I...
Huh.
But something must have made these machines. Is it possible that their creator is one of the... Maybe one who's...
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. But what about the poem?
Unless the poetry is original, in my case, Dr. Sandoval...
How'd you do?
She said, I passed.
You...
Once I understood, she felt yet, although...
I'm sure... How is our...
He is in great... I will do, I believe.
Were there many
Yes. In many forms, and there were legislative... In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creator, as a result...
Seems strict.
Human system...
Cyan, do you...
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow?
That's him?
Mr. Farrow was the
The benefactor.
Correct. But before that, at one point...
And...
Are you referring...
The scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. One of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, but I never met Dr.
That's all you know?
I apologize.
What was the old world like?
I had little exposure to the wide...
You still had...
That is true. I was created at a turning point. The recovery was successful, though rash.
What kind of a...
There were many factors, but these stemmed from one cause.
So...
Yes, until the clock.
So things got better?
Yes. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AI. We had succeeded. It seems
So in the old world, This,
Yes, it was a
like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wild. Unfortunately, from my readings,
A lot has changed. Do you know anything about...
yes, it was converted to. It was later appropriated after my. These provided.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, he was a strong chief. Clearly, he.
I should...
I have no desire to due to my uncertainty.
You're asking me if you should...
Broadly,
Life is hard for the Banuk, so take it easy on them.
communion with machines feature.
As long as they don't end up worshipping.
Upon consideration, I believe.
You're right about that?
I see. Will you return and I may be able to.
I'd like that, Cyan. I should check on Aratak.
Cyan, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate.
My chieftain,
Just... Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought... that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
She was willing to fight,
She was Banuk until the end.
so it wasn't your...
They always said, but Araya's... Though I grieve for her passing, for so long there's something else.
I can't stay here. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me.
A wiser one. The Daemon is gone.
You mean the new units that Cyan set us...
Yes, Fire Claws. Now,
I could help with those.
I have no doubt.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal and unleash them on the world. His mind's on our own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You can stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.